Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you guys are doing good on this Saturday morning. Hopefully you guys could hear me. Give me an audio check. Let me know that you guys could hear me okay. So, thank you for joining me. Just a impromptu chat. Just kind of bored. Just wanted to take a break. Trying to figure things out. Uh, Telling you, YouTube's a grind, man. So much to learn. So much to learn to make it all work. But hello, welcome Bold and Dangerous. He's been here for like an hour from what I've seen in the chat. I don't know if he's still in here though. Hey, Joseph from JH Aquatics, Big Easy. Michael Allen, how you doing, buddy? Damien, good to see you again. HC, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Flynn, how you doing? Below the surface, how you guys doing? Brittany, how you doing? Shout out to all you guys. Hope you guys are doing great this Saturday. So I have no clue what to talk about. I was just here, just field any questions, just talk about stuff, anything. But I think we could start this out by asking if any of you guys seen Infinity Wars yet. I am so hyped to see that. Still, I'm going to see that on Tuesday night. So, yeah, but I know the problem is Friday. I'm trying to figure out, should I move the live chats to Saturday to get more people, because a lot of people are just getting home or what have you in the time frame that I did it at. But you missed the trivia, and we had so much fun with that. So I wanted to really make that a big part of it. But I'm also trying to figure out, should I move the live chat to Saturday mornings, because that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this impromptu. I want to see how many more people are going to come watch. As well, ask you guys, would it be easier if I moved it to Saturday mornings? And it's also better because it takes it one day away from the Thursday video. Gives the Thursday video some time to do its thing. So that's the other thing I was thinking about. My Tuesday and Thursday videos, or my in the week videos, are usually filler videos. They're like videos that aren't really geared towards hitting and trying to get those new subscribers in, but more for you guys and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little strategy I have. I just noticed that my videos don't get as much hits as it does on when I release them on Sunday mornings. So that's kind of like the thing that I'm trying to do here. Hey, nerds of many hobbies, good to see you again. Yeah, I like streaming. It's fun to field questions, assuming that I could talk. There's a lot of times I don't like the silent the time where I just don't know what to say and you guys are chatting much. But yeah, I still like it. I still like talking to you guys. Hey, Martin's Tank Talk, how you doing? Talk about my babies. I had my first batch of beta fries after your beta video. Really nice. That is very cool. Hope they're doing really good. It'd be nice to get some pictures. Put them both on the Facebook group, buddy. First batch. At first I thought you were talking about your kids or something, your baby. You had a baby or something. And you said babies. I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. Going for the whole twins thing or something. You would be able to participate more if it's Saturdays. Yeah, I'm getting that, but I'm also getting a lot of people say, "Oh, keep with it on Fridays too." But there's a poll on the Facebook group that I have going, but it's good to ask you guys too. And I think I figured that part out too, is that you guys seem to be more available on Saturdays instead of Friday nights. I can't do early on Friday nights because either I'm at work, and a lot of people are at work, and I jump right on the computer right when I get home from work. So that's the other thing too. I've about an hour to prepare, which is okay, but I don't know. I think Saturday might be better for a lot of people, anyways. Saturday evenings, that might be interesting too. What do you below the surface? What are you talking about Saturday evenings? At what time are you talking about? Yeah, now that's the hardest part, buddy. You gotta wear those things. Get those things going. You bought 3 gravid marigold ratas platies and dropped their babies. Oh, nice. I love those platies. They're baby factories there. Sean Williams, what's up, my friend? I haven't seen you in ages. I hope you're doing good. I hope your life is, ramping back up again. Hopefully. I don't know, man. Let me know what's going on with you, man. That'd be cool. I work Fridays, so I just get to listen to the live stream. Yeah, okay. That's the thing too, you know. Still the weekdays for a lot of people. They work, later at nights and stuff. So a flower horn tank? How hard is it? Are you actually? I mean, you just set up the tank and cycle and get the flower horn in there, right? But yeah, that'd be cool. You want your own Frank? Is that what it is? They're really cool fish. I love watching Frank on Joey's videos. So I mean, that's kind of his big draw in his tank on his channel right now. It used to be Buddy, and now Buddy's gone. He got like 4 more arowanas, but that's not as popular as Frank. It seems, Frank's just so much fun. Flower horns. So yeah, that'd be really cool, man. So Sean, where are you at right now? Are you still in SoCal? I know all your moving and stuff. So hopefully, it's good to hear you're still in SoCal. I'm trying to get a SoCal like meet going. There's not that many, or not many that I could find. That's more, like public accessible. Because like if I go to the Scape forums, which you guys know, Scape is a kind of a I guess the local club around here, and it's big, but they're so scattered, and they do like a big meet, but it's only once a year. So I want to do something more regular, but I have to see. I have to find the time for that and stuff like that, and a place, especially a place. This is going to be hard to do, but we'll see. I can figure something out. Sad news: my beta was PTS the other day. He had a huge tumor. It was caught. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Brittany. I hate when that happens. Yeah, if baby tears are growing up, or they're trying to reach more light. Okay, so that usually means you have too much low of a light. What do you have set up on that tank there? And how tall is your tank? And what lighting you have, and how tall is your tank? You'll probably figure it out if it's lighting or not. Most likely it is. Yeah, sometimes I do. I mean, it depends, because a lot of times I get a lot of small fish, and Brittany's talking about if anyone feels attracted to the fish, like there were like more than regular pets kind of thing, like with a cat or dog. Sometimes it depends. I mean, all the fish I get are usually small and lots of them, so it's really hard to get attached to fish like that. I mean, still fish, and you want to keep them alive, but I don't really have any more. That one fish. I talked about it in one of my videos, was my arowana, but that was when I was way younger, and that was the only fish that was mine that I had, and it was everyone's in the club. So yeah, we felt attached to that fish. Hey Caleb, did you ever read my comment from yesterday? Which comment was that, Caleb? Probably not. If it's the one that you asked and we were in the middle of trivia and it just scrolled right past my screen. Yeah, I probably didn't see it. So if you want, go ahead and ask again. Yeah, man, you're still in Upland. Good to hear. I'm going to be moving to Hollywood soon. I found that I enjoy keeping fish animals more than keeping plants. Really? Well, that's cool. I mean, each to their own. I'm more of the plant guy, but I understand that. Fish, fish is fun too. But that's cool. Let me know when you go to Hollywood. You're going to be right in my neighborhood. That'd be very cool. Hey, Jad, how you doing? Good to see you again. Saw Jad last night on my other live stream. Hey, how you doing past the dirt road? Michael Evans gets more attached to plants. Yeah, I see that too. Yeah, that's kind of in my league. It's where I get attached to my plants more than I do the fish. But again, it depends on the fish. If I had a big arowana, or if I had a flower horn, then yeah, I get pretty. I'll probably get attached to that because it has personality. It's bigger, it's not just little tiny fishes. But I could get attached to a betta too. I mean, I had a betta about 13 years ago that I loved. It was next to my bed on the side table, so he would always be there. He'd greet me when I wake up. When I go to bed, he was always there, and he was a really personable betta, surprisingly. He always interacted a lot with me. So that one, you could get. I guess it doesn't have to be a big fish. They just have to have some kind of personality other than running up to the glass and want food. Caleb, you might not even have dwarf baby tears. I bought a mat of HC from my LFS the other, and this stuff started growing out of it. I still don't know if it's pearlweed or regular baby tears, but it's growing. Well, that's interesting. You can take a picture. We can take a look. Try to identify it. And that's also one of the fun things too, is trying to identify the plants that suddenly started growing in your tank and you have no clue where it came from. Kind of like dwarf Sagittaria. And I pulled all that stuff out of that 40-gallon tank I have. I'm like, I don't want this stuff. It's just going like crazy, because the setup in that 40-gallon, when I first set up, was insane, right? So tank, intense CO2, and 2 strips of the Fluval 2.0 lighting on it. So I think it's just driving like growth like immensely crazy in that tank. And that dwarf Sag just ate it up. I mean, it was all over the place. And I'm like, I don't want this stuff in my tank. I'm getting sick of it. Because no matter how much I pull it out, next week, there's a whole, like, huge clumps of it all over the place. Because it spread runners out like crazy. So I just pulled it all out, and I thought I got all of it. Nope. 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, there's just more clumps. I'm like, where are all these dwarf Sag coming from? Those stupid plants. What pets do you have other than my fish? I have my cat. I don't know where she's at right now. Baby girl, where are you? She's a big fat white cat. Big fat white cat. I'd like a dog, but I can't get. I like large dogs, but I can't keep it. I'm in a townhouse. There's no yard, and I want to give. If I have a big dog, I want him to have space running around and stuff. I don't usually like small dogs, but one of the girls in my office, we're allowed to bring small dogs to the office. And she brings her Chihuahua, and I hate Chihuahuas. I despise Chihuahuas because they're always, every time I see Chihuahua, they're noisy, they're always barking, whatever, but her Chihuahua is awesome. She's so quiet, she's so lovable, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I just completely changed my mind about Chihuahuas now. Maybe I might get one too. I don't know. Something. So a Chihuahua like her, I'd be perfect. She's awesome. Sean, you gotta take off. Okay, well, take care, buddy. Hope to talk to you soon. Let me know when you move to Hollywood. That would be easier to get together. We could go out, get some lunch, stuff like that. Talk aquariums. That'll be awesome. Yeah, I'm trying. I'll try to get to 10K subscribers. I'm telling you, it's a grind, man. It is a grind. Michael, all my fish are hobos at the airport. Every time I walk, their little fins are sticking out, asking for food. That's a good analogy for fish. They sure are. So my comment was this. This is from Caleb. I was moving all my golden mystery snails. I was expecting each for hitchhiker snails and plants. And the last one inspected had a fish in his mouth. Like, how big of a fish are we talking about? How big are these snails? That's nuts. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, a snail eats anything, right? But if the fish was already dead, it climbed on top. I don't know if I could ever see it trying to catch. How would it catch the fish? It's a snail. That's pretty trippy. Pinholes in your crypts. I took a few minutes to notice. Do I need fertilizer? Yes, you are lacking magnesium, I believe. Look it up, Google it, because I don't have it all memorized. Pinholes in your plants usually means you're deficient in one of the minerals, which I believe is magnesium, I think. And then look that up, and then it'll tell you what to dose for magnesium or whatever it is that you're lacking. Assuming that all your other plants look fine and pinholes is the only thing that's happening in your crypts, then it could be. I mean, the other thing it could be is if you have snails and they're putting holes in your plants. That could happen too. If you have a lot of snails, that could be it. But most likely, you're lacking one of the minerals that you need, which, I don't quote me on this, could be magnesium, but look it up. Because I always have to look it up because there's so many nutrients that That's in the macros and micros that you put in your tank. Also, trying to, you gotta kind of tie them together. I just don't have them all memorized. Oh no, you think you're getting guppy crazy? They look like great in a plant. They do, but I don't. I don't like live breeders or live bearers, because they keep pumping out babies. I used to have mollies. I don't want them. Swordtails and mollies. Don't want them anymore. So every time I put 2 or 3 in there, there's going to be like 100 in a month or two, and it's nuts. Then I'm like, oh, gotta get rid of this. Who wants them? Take them to the local fish store. Somebody don't want to take them because they have too many already. So it's like, dude, I'm giving it to you. Take it, sell it. It's free profits. Gosh, a 33-year box turtle. That is so cool. Yeah, Jan has 5 large dogs. That is so cool. I love large dogs. A land turtle would be cool. Yeah, I like the little dogs who think they're big dogs. They are so funny. Okay, it was a CPD Celestial Pearl Danio Galaxy Resbora. Apparently, when I netted the snail, the fish was in the net, and the snail closed up on it. I was fighting to get the fish out, but didn't want to hurt the snail. Oh man, those choices that you have to make, those hard choices. Save the snail, save the fish. Save the snail, save the fish. I don't know. That's a whole, dilemma there you got going in your head. It's like catch-22. Bradley has a cat, hamster, guinea pig. Wow. I'm going to get another guinea pig friend for him soon, but he's so moody. Oh, yeah. They can get moody. For sure. Finally got the fish out enough and the snail snapped shut. I squirted the rest of the fish out. Poor guy with taste is swimming funny, but when I put him back in the tank. Oh no, I hope he's doing good though. But that is trippy. Probably freaked out. Just wondering why this big thing sucked up on him. Every time you dose, you get staghorn algae, even when I use half the dosage. Well, don't dose everything. I mean, what are you dosing everything, or you probably have more than enough nutrients in your tank if the algae's grabbing a hold on the nutrients. So maybe stop dosing. If your plants look okay, then don't really have to dose too much. So here's the thing: if you got the lighting going, you got the CO2 or no CO2 going, and your plants are growing fine, then you probably won't have to dose. Just watch out for whatever you need on the deficiencies. Okay. If you have that balance, that's good, because then you can just look at your plants and say, oh, well, it's turning yellow. It means it needs this. So just dose that. Okay, which is kind of good, because now you could just hone in on the specific need of the plants and give them that specific need, which makes things a lot easier. The hard part is to figure out what they need if you see deficiencies, but that's a good way to learn. Bananas are good with live barriers. Are they? Not know that? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, right. One of their suggested tank makes were mollies. Hi, Tampa Tom. Well, can your cat hear? My cat was pure white and was deaf when it was 18. Aww. Yeah, but that's old. 18 is old. My cat's pure white. She can hear. Yeah, she can hear. My previous cat, before he died, he was my buddy. I had him for over 18 years. He could hear too, and he was pure white. He had yellow eyes. My current cat has blue eyes, I think. She has blue eyes. Hey, me Mug Quads, how you doing, buddy? Potassium, thank you, Mike Collin. Potassium, that'll work too. Yeah, if your plants are looking to do good, here's the thing: you don't always need a dose. You don't always need highlight, you don't always need CO2. If your plants are growing fine, let it grow that way until you see it needs something. The reason why we use higher lighting and the reason why we use CO2 is two things. Either it's the type of plants, but if you're not keeping those type of plants high demanding on that light and the CO2, then the only reason why you want to up the lights and the CO2 is to encourage and push growth. Okay, if you don't want to do that, then you don't need to. Okay, when I talk about getting highlighting, talking about CO2, talking about FERT, is because we're pushing plants. We're forcing. We want them to go faster. But if you're fine with the rate that they're growing and they look healthy, leave it alone. Just let your tank go. I mean, and just let it go its own route and let them grow. But again, a guy like me, I push it. Right? I want plants to grow fast because I need to see what it's doing, and I'm also aquascaping the tank in a way that it's an activity for me. So, a constant activity for me. So that was only. But if you don't need to, if you don't want to do that, people ask me, "Oh, I have a plant tank. It looks good, but should I get highlighting? Should I get CO2?" And why? If you like the way it is and you're fine with the way the plants grow, leave it alone. Don't mess with it. You got the perfect recipe that's going right now in your tank. Leave it alone. Okay? You don't have to get into all that stuff just because other people are. Other people are doing it because either two reasons. Either they want to push the plant growth or do something particular with the tank, like do some kind of aquascape with it in a faster way. Or they just think that they need to do it because they're hearing it all over the place. Okay, that, highlighting, more CO2, whatever. One of the worst things that I always hear is, this is the worst thing I hear, okay? I have algae, what should I do? Put CO2 in your tank. That's the advice. That is the worst advice you can give someone, okay? Don't put CO2 in your tank. Just because you have algae doesn't mean putting CO2 in your tank will get rid of it. Okay, the reason why they're thinking CO2 is going to get rid of algae is not because you're putting CO2 in your tank. Okay, the CO2 does not have a direct effect on algae. What it does have the effect on is making plants grow faster so that it will outcompete the nutrients and the nutrients in the tank. Okay, if you're feeding too much, you're adding a lot more ammonia. That's nutrients for some of the plants. And as long as the plants are growing fast, assuming you have a nice lineup of plants in your tank, it's growing fast, it's going to yip all the nutrients before the algae can get to it. Okay, but if you just suddenly just stick CO2 in your tank without the light highlighting, okay, the lighting which drives the plants to produce photosynthesis, that in turn produce the food that in turns make plants grow, then it's useless. You're wasting the CO2. It's a bad advice. Okay, CO2 does not get rid of algae just like that. Okay, so again, if you have a balanced tank and you're going fine with it, you love what it's doing, leave it alone. Enjoy your tank. You're there. All right. Just enjoy the nice looking tank. Okay. But if you want to do something else with it, particularly if you want to say, I want to grow my plants faster, then you're going to jump into that balance. You're going to jump into that balance game where you have to play, add more light. Okay. Okay. Now the light is too intense, but I want the plants to go faster. Let's add a little more C2, make more C2 available for the plants to use in this photosynthesis period because you're giving it more than enough energy to use that CO2. Okay, and in turn, using all the nutrients that you have going on in your plant tank. So if they're growing, if they're pushing with the lighting and the CO2, okay, but now they're deficient in nutrients, that's when you start adding nutrients, right? Because now that they're growing faster, there's going to be less nutrients for them to be able to use. Okay, so that's that whole balance game there. Okay, so again, I talked about yesterday. I don't want to talk about it again on tomorrow morning's video, the balancing your tank video. I just have to record it. I'm actually doing some special effects on it, so it might take a little while. I actually should be doing that right now, but I'm procrastinating like always. But I have to do lightsaber effects. You get that, lightsaber effects. Anyways, let's see. Where are we going here? Cold and rainy. I wish it was cold and rainy in LA. I want the rain. I love the rain. in the house. What's up, Lumpy Dog? That's cool. I don't know how you could do that though. It's really hard for me to edit a video and listening to a podcast or whatever going because I have to listen to the sound going on in the video. So, what kind of hose tubing do you use for CO2? Net says the best hose is polythene. Is the best since it's rated at 150 psi. It doesn't exchange with CO2. It's very rigid and hard to work with. It is very rigid, but that is, I do have, I do buy the polythene hose, but sometimes if it's do yourself CO2, I just use a regular air tubing. But yeah, I do use the polythene type. It's the black one, and it's kind of rigid. It is a pain in the butt to work with, but I'm not pulling 100 feet of that stuff, so it's not that bad. So once you got it all hooked up, then it's not that bad. And the rigidity of it, once you have it all hooked up, doesn't really matter. So you don't get the loss of CO2 through the plastic like air hoses that you would usually get. Because remember, you're pushing that pressure through that hose, so it is a good idea to get a hose that would be able to stand pressure. Now, if you using do-it-yourself CO2, you're fine. Yeah, that is famous last words. I love my tank. It's perfect the way it is. I want to start messing around with it. Why? Get another tank if you're going to do that, right? That's the thing, and that's a good excuse to go and get MTS. I mean, sometimes I remember one time I was sitting there and I go, okay, this tank's going, this tank's going, this tank. All right, they're all going. They're all growing. I like where it's at, but I want to do this with the tank. Oh well, I'll just go and buy. Petco's having their $1 a gallon sale. I'll just buy another tank and do it in that one. It's the most dangerous last words for sure. Not just because you might mess it up, but now you're just figuring maybe I'll just get another tank. I understand that CO2 inhibits the growth naturally, but it doesn't get rid of it just to slow it down. A little. Hard to explain. I think I gotta look that up more. I think I gotta do a little more research on how CO2 affects algae. But yeah, I think a lot of it though is really, I don't think it's going to inhibit algae growth in the sense that it just gets rid of it. And again, like I said last night, the easiest way to not get algae is not give it the environment for it to grow. Keep your tank balanced, meaning the most popular way to get algae is overfeeding your fish. And a lot of people do that. They overfeed their fish, and you don't really need to overfeed your fish. Fish could last quite a while without food, though you should give it food every day. You don't have to overfeed them, and that's the worst thing you can do is overfeeding fish. No, not Secret Asian Man video stuff. Okay, what Secret Asian or any Asian video or movies do you see that has lightsabers in it? Well, other than Rogue One. What plants for discus with stratum? Any plants? Discus don't munch on plants, so it's good. A lot of people don't like discus plants in discus tanks because they want to keep the water clean. Blah 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 blah. Again, a whole nother discussion. Do I believe in that? Nah. Not if you're really good at maintaining your tank, you should be okay. And as long as you get discus that was raised in farms, but not natural. If you're doing natural fishing, any fish, not just discus, you have to pay attention to a lot more other stuff. If they're raised in farms and breeders and stuff, it's a different story. They're bred, they're raised in different pH. They don't have the natural soft water anymore and stuff like that. So you could get away with a lot more. Now, what plants for discus tank? In my discus tank that I'm planning, I'm seeing, because it's mostly, I think, going to be sand. Just pockets of areas where there will be soil or some kind of substrate. I don't know if I'm going with soil or like something like Eco Complete or anything, but they're going to be spots where there's going to be that. So there's going to be a lot of Amazon swords, big monster plants of Amazon swords. I just love Amazon swords. So It's going to be an Amazon plant tank. Driftwood, lots of driftwood, lots of newies, lots of boost, lots of Java ferns. That's what I'm looking at. And yeah, it's going to be low lighted, I guess. It could be if I wanted to. But I'm looking about a medium lighted tank. Inject some CO2s because I want those Amazon swords to just bunch out. All that Java fern just bunch out. So yeah, I'm looking at that. Now, nothing huge on my discus tank, personally. So that's what I would plan for what I am planning for my discus tank. Again, who said aqua? What plans for discus tank with stratum? Any plants will work. You're good with it. It depends on what kind of environment you're going to give the plants to grow in. Okay. You hate the rain. Oh, I like the rain. It'll make me sing that song by what's his name? Jealous of the rain. I just got it at Lowe's. Like what's suggested to get from the net. It used to be for ice makers. It's white. Okay. That'll work. That'll work. If it's for ice makers, I think it'll work. I'm not sure. As long as it's rated to handle PSIs, you're good. High PSIs. Because see, the thing is when you turn on your CO2, it has to build up the pressure enough to push through the diffuser. Assuming that you're using one of those bubblers or misters, right? If you're just, I think it'd be okay if all you're doing is pumping it in drops into a reactor. That's different. I don't think you have to really go all out for that. Yeah. Fluid black airline. Ooh, that's not good. It started leaking? That's interesting. I don't know. You know what? I keep hearing Fluval. Everyone complaining about Fluval, about how the quality of Fluval products are going down. So that kind of scared me because I've been looking at the Fluval FXs. Also, is there any way to test for specific nutrients in tank like I test for potassium or iron? Like you said, there is a test for potassium and there's a test for iron. I think there's a test for magnesium. I'm not sure. I wish they had more test kits, but that's the ones I only know of too. I've been trying to find if there's test kits or a way to measure other nutrients in your tank for your plants, but I don't think there is. The only way I could say is with your eyes. Look at your plants. Learn what the deficiencies are and how to identify them, and that's a good way to just get a gauge on how your nutrients are in your tank. The other way is to do something like EI dosing, which is just put all the damn nutrients in there, more than enough that they need, and just let them eat them up. And then every Sunday you do a 50% water change. That's the only problem with EI dosing, but that's how it works. Okay, so it prevents you from getting algae, which is 50% water changes every week. Okay, and that could be a lot for some people. It was a lot for me when I was doing it. Pain in the butt. But you can't argue the results that I got from doing that. I could not argue it. So I think I might do that again with the 40-gallon Dutch style that I'm setting up. So can I grow plants in sand substrate with root tabs? Yes, you can. Depends mostly on the plant, but yes, you can. Again, it depends on the plants. If it's heavy root feeders like Amazon swords, yeah, you'll definitely want to try to put root tabs in your sand substrate. Some people have success growing plants, then they say they do. I've never seen pictures, never seen proof that their plants grow just fine without anything. A lot of people say that. Like I don't put root tabs, my plants are growing fine. Yeah, but what's your definition of fine? I have higher expectations for my plants. All right, but if you're okay with your plants, where it's at, then be happy with that. Then don't put root tabs in your sand. Okay, but it depends on what you want, right? Now that's a lot of things I see people get advice about. Is when somebody asks for advice, They're trying to contradict someone else. I don't put root tabs in my sand, and my plants grow fine. But yeah, what are you trying to do with your plants? Right? If you're fine with the way your plants is, then that's fine. But what if he wants to grow it faster, or make them grow much greener, much lusher, much bushier? Right? He wants to give them nutrients. Put root tabs in your sand. But yeah, you can do that. But you only need to do that with heavy root feeders. Okay, like Amazon sword. Anything that you have to plant inside a substrate that has heavy roots. Okay. With rhizome plants where you don't plant inside the substrate, then it's going to get the nutrients from the water column. So you got to dose your water column, and you don't have to worry about that with sand because you're not putting it in the sand. So for you, only use root tabs in your sand substrate underneath the plants that are heavy root grown. You don't have to put the root tabs all over your tank, just in the areas where there's going to be the heavy root growers or the heavy root feeding plants. I guess heavy root growers will work too. Yeah, you see, you feed your fish every second day. They don't need to be fed every day. I feed them every day only because it's a nice little habit for me to do when I get home. But I don't feed them all that much that I know of. And even if I did, it wouldn't matter because I do constant water changes on my tanks every week. They have that Indian movie like Star Wars. There's an issue with plants with discus. The issue is that this is like water. Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about that. It's also the temperature thing. Yeah, that I always forget is the temperature of the discus. They like hot, warmer waters. I couldn't say hot. So some plants don't like water that warm. But Amazons, you do okay. With hardier plants, you could do okay in warmer waters. They just don't like it that much. You might have trouble growing them. That's why I always want to keep. Every time I see discus, I'll keep to the low-lighted hardy plants. And it just seems weird to like grow the really major stuff with them. Now I've seen tanks where people have grown like a Dutch style tank with discus in it, and it looked gorgeous. And I don't even know. This is a research I have to do. Is do you really need to put discus in that high of a temperature? Can you keep it at 80 degrees, 78? I don't know. With discus, I think my friend kept them. He always kept it around 81 degrees, 82 degrees. Did fine. And he had a lot of low light plants in that. It was a planted discus tank. And he had a lot of hardy plants in it too, so keep that in mind. Yeah, sort of really easy. I love them. I grow Amazon swords in gravel substrate with root tabs and they're doing well. Yeah, well, give them root tabs. They'll love it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, well, you go to Lowe's and you just get a whole spool of it. Oh, it's going to be cheaper. Cheaper than buying like Fluval or whatever. They jack up the price. They could take the same hose, jack up the price because it's Fluval, and then call it, aquarium CO2 hosing. And suddenly people will buy them because, hey, it's part of marketing, right? It sucks, but it's part of marketing. And it's really hard to get people off and say, why don't you just go to Lowe's and get this hose? Why don't you just go here and just get this? Why do you need to buy such branded name stuff? And even so, it doesn't always work. Like I said about my Aquatech, it's regular. I hate it. My made in China ones I ordered from Ebo, which is half the cost of it, freaking work great. Work way better than my Aquatech. So, sometimes you just gotta kind of weigh the consequences, Lighting, I don't skimp. It's just stuff like, do I skimp on this or not? Lighting, I don't skimp on, or I try not to. CO2 regulars, I will skimp on, but the diffusers, I won't skimp on. Ferts, I don't know if you call ferts skimping, but if you go dry ferts, you're hitting the straight up, raw nutrients that you're putting in your tank. So and it's cheaper that way instead of getting something branded. So I guess going cheaper and skimping on that works too, if you want to call it skimping. Because instead of buying a bottle of pre-mixed nutrients, like a bottle of potassium from Seachem, it's about that big, and will last half the times I would get from mixing my own dry fruit bottle for $7 versus that bottle I only will use be able to use probably a third of that time of that one bottle I mixed costs the same price, right? So if I buy a bag of fruits and I can mix 4 bottles of the same size of that Seachem potassium, and they're both the same size in the bottles, but I could mix 3 more times of a bottle, or 4 times in the bottle, then I'm saving 4 times the money, 3 times the money, 4 times the money. I don't know, whatever, the math is there, but you get the picture, right? So why do you need to? Sometimes, I understand if you're like one of those people that like just to be a brand fan, that likes a certain brand and they stick with. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But a lot of people think that they need to get it because they think it's better. It's not necessarily the case. Not always necessarily the case. Not always. Hey, Victor, you're not late, really. I mean, it's not a planned chat. Just here chatting with you guys. How you doing? This is gonna be hard. Godzilla? That works. Flu will be tripping. Flu was tripping. What's up, Wasabi? Wasabi? I use a piece of bamboo to diffuse CO2. Interesting. You got a video on that? How you doing that? Like a piece of chopstick. How's that diffusing the CO2? I mean, how are you using that to do that? I'd be very interested in hearing about that. Ooh, okay. He got Ghostzilla asked, anyone have experience with the Aquavitro Aquasolium substrate for growing plants? I have not. Heard of it vaguely, but I'm not. Andreas, do we have to use ADA Super 4 if we're adding extra substrate by replacing a bit from the old one? Ooh. I don't know. I don't think you have to. What are you trying to do? Replace your substrate, your ADA substrate in a current tank right now? Wait, what is ADA Super 4? I think you're talking about something else here. Oh, that one I don't know. I've never used that brand of the ADA, the Super 4. I'll look it up now. But again, I'm mainly right now a soil guy. And that's the thing, I'm not always a soil guy. I love soil, I love the effects, I love the results. The problem is it does get dirty, really dirty. If I have a tank that I'm setting up that I'm not moving the plants rarely or barely, I'll use soil. Alright, but in the case of like the 40-gallon Dutch that I'm planning to set up, I'm going to be moving those plants a lot. Okay, with the Dutch tank, I tend to do that. With my 20-gallon long, if you guys seen the update videos on that, you notice that I keep moving plants around. That would be a nightmare. That could be a nightmare. It's okay if you're just moving the plants once in a while, which is no big deal in a soil tank, but when you move plants that much, then I have to move away from using soil to something like, I don't know, I might stick with ADA and then cap it with Eco Complete or Stratum or something like that. But that's what I would go with. Just as long as it's nothing like, I'm not touching the fluval stuff. Oh my god, I think it's just dust hell for me. For my next tank, I want to do a simple 29 with black substrate, black background. Okay, planted with jungle val and only cardinal tetras. Nice, very classic. I would kind of look really nice with those tetras in that whole environment. Everything black. Root tabs in gravel or dostal water with ferts, crypts, jungle valve, and dwarf lily. Crypts, jungle valve, dwarf lily. What kind of gravel is it? Just regular gravel? Isn't like Echo Complete or anything? If it's regular gravel, I'll put a couple root tabs under your crypts. I think a jungle valve would do okay. Your dwarf lily should do fine. I put a couple of tabs under dwarf lily too. Yeah. If it's Echo Complete, you might be okay with just getting away with dosing your water column. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Hey, 54 Punchy, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the chat. Yeah, so yeah, 80 degrees. See, that's the thing about the internet and what people say. It's not always accurate. I thought it was 80 degrees because my friend said it was 80, 81 degrees. He kept it at, I believe. It is 120 gallon. It was plant tank. It was lots of plants. It's like a jungle style. It was great. It was going crazy in that tank. And he had it at 80 degrees. Yeah, I don't think you need to go that high with discus. So, I don't know. It really depends. Depends how you have everything set up. See you later, Martin Tanks. Thank you for joining us. Siddharth Mohapara. I can't pronounce your name, buddy. I can. Pistogrammas, Agassizes, male pistogrammas, include female breed. Ooh, I don't know. I'm not much of a breeder. Anyone can answer that, please? You more fishy breeding guys. My God, sometimes fish buy those ferts because it has dosing directions. Oh yeah, that too. Some people. I don't know why I said fish. Would it be bad to go cheap on regular because a bad regular would end up tank dumps? Victor, I don't know. I never had a problem with that. But like I said, I didn't have problems with the 3 regulators I bought from the Made in China stuff. It always worked for me. As long as it's regulating the CO2 correctly going in my tank, I don't really worry about it that much. You know, you're asking if a bad regulator would cause end of tank dumps. Not if it seriously breaks. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't say. Let's say I never see. Here's the thing: it's all based on my experience, and all those regulators that I bought from China has been running for 1.5 years now, almost 2 years. And they've worked perfectly fine. So I guess you're also rolling the dice when you do that. Okay, the reason why a lot of manufacturers make their stuff in China. The only difference is that they have a more stringent quality control. Okay, so they know that the products going out of China before they go on the shelves has been tested. Okay, this is how we're doing. This is why I know this. It's because in the wargaming business, I work very closely with the airbrushing company. If you guys don't know what an airbrush is, this, guys, is an airbrush. You put paint in here, it blows out, air, and then and it aerizes the paint. It's like shooting paint out of an air can. Ooh, shoot! I have to clean this airbrush. But yeah, these actually are made in America, USA, but their compressors are sourced in China, across the seas. Okay, and I also worked with another company we're closely with who made brushes. Okay, like these. These are my branded brushes for my wargaming channel. see. GGG. They're WGC Hydra. WGC is the Wargamers Consortium. That's my brand. But yeah, these are made in China. He has factories in China, so that's why I know this stuff. So a lot of American companies, to keep costs down, do have stuff manufactured in China. Now I asked him and the other source places in Taiwan and China is, okay, how are you guys selling it? What's the difference between you guys selling it and what's the difference between a branded company selling it that hires you guys to make their stuff? And it basically is this. We have a higher standard on quality control. Okay, we tell them to make this, and again, on my last job, which is all cosmetics, a lot of stuff is sourced in across the seas, China, Korea, whatever. And that's the way it works. A lot of people who do these cosmetic brands have the stuff made across the seas and then gets it branded and comes over here. What they do is they go over there and say, okay, so you make eyeshadow, you make airbrushes, you make air compressors, you make brushes, you make wargaming figures. All right, you produce these stuff. Okay, great. That cuts my costs like to very low. Okay, but we pay in customs, whatever. So I want you to make these brushes that I tested. I find that's really good, but where I need you to change this, make this customized. I need you to test it this way. So I would give them a document. I would say, you need to test this way. Or have all the stuff shipped over to my American factory, and then I will have QA testers here. Okay? And the deal is, if we find anything, I'll send it back to you. You guys need to replace it for free. Okay, so there's a lot of wheeling, dealing, and how it's set up. It's always different for different manufacturers and the people they work with. Okay? So that is a lot of the difference. So when you go and buy a China brand, a no-name brand regulator, what you're doing is kind of buying the product, kind of bypassing that rigid QA testing period. That manufacturer who decided to sell on eBay in China might say, we do QA our stuff, but in a different standard, if that makes any sense. It might not be as good as some of the standards that a branded company pours their money into, right? So they'll pour their money. They'll give you $1 to make the product for them, but they will spend $2 on QA testing or whatever to get it out before we put our name on it. Okay, so a lot of it is that's how it usually works. Okay, now it's not not for everyone. Like I told you about Badger Airbrush Company, that's the one that makes all these airbrushes that I have. They're one of my sponsors too, but they make all their stuff here. They manufacture the airbrushes, all the parts and everything here in the U.S. It's a lot more expensive, but they sell it for cheaper because they're not relying just on their brand to sell the products, which is good. A lot of it's customer service, but it's a different monster. When he's manufacturing, he's a lot more control. When he manufactures overseas, that control code goes mainly basically in the quality control. Okay, so when you buy from China, you're skipping that process of it. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that helps in some way. Damien, how often, how much Seachem Flourish should I put in my 5-gallon nano? I have Java Moss, Amazon Swords and Tank. Okay, follow the instructions on the bottle. That's it for Flourish, because all that Flourish is going to do is give you the micronutrients. It does not give you macronutrients. So it's a 5-gallon tank too, so I don't think you have to worry too much about it. Just watch your plants. But if you want the full lineup of giving all the proper nutrients to your plants, other than Flourish, you'll need to get potassium, nitrogen, a bottle of potassium, a bottle of nitrogen, a bottle of NPK. And potassium, I'm always going to get this wrong. I always forget one of them. Nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. Okay, so you might have to buy those other 3 bottles. Buy the small ones and dose it as per the instructions. But just see how your tanks are doing first. See if they can just survive and flourish. The only reason why I say that, because also there is nutrients in your tap water, not that much, but again, it depends on your tap water. You can get a water report from your city water, whatever, water district or whatever. But they have to send you out a water report every year. Go look at the water report and see how much of those nutrients are in the water in your tap water. They have to measure it. They have to tell you. So you could tell. Some places actually have more than enough nutrients that the plants could survive on. Survive on. Not thrive on, but survive on. You plug the air line, the piece of chopstick at the end. Video Byte made a cool one looking one. Video Byte. Alright, I'll check it out. Just one to start new dry start method, so I'm applying a layer of 3-liter powdered soil. Okay, here we go. Henry said, I just wanted to start a new dry. Oh, you want to start a new dry. Okay, you want to start a new dry start method. So I'm applying a layer of 3-liter powdered soil. Okay, that's fine. That should work. You don't really need to go on all this. I did on my Igumi dry start. I used the 3-layer substrate thing that 88 did. I didn't use the powders, but it worked great. I don't think you need to go and do all that though. I mean, you could just get 88, either power sand or powder soil, or just regular Amazon aqua soil, and just go with that. It will work fine. Just that. Temp. Okay, no problem, man. Glad it helps. You think in his video he used a branch from his tree? Oh, I'm curious now. I'm gonna see that. Andreas, can fluorescent cell be used alone for CO2 of Monte Carlo, Tropica, Wendell Green? Because I'm not having any money left over constant pressure. If you don't have enough money for pressurized CO2, then yeah, you could try using fluorescent and see how it works out. I'm not keen on that stuff. Just make sure you don't have any plants that you listed here that would melt. It's known to melt jungle val. Sorry, not Java val, but jungle val. People have reported that. I'm not too sure. I have not experienced it myself, but I have not used the stuff where I had a tank full of jungle val. Okay, so just remember that if you want to look it up. But from what I understand, Monte Carlo and Wendy Green could handle that. So yeah, go ahead and use it. Don't overdose on it though, but it will work. Will give carbon to your plants. I could see a bad needle valve causing CO2 dump, but not the regulator. Yeah, a bad needle valve, yeah. Because see, that was one of my other problems too. I had that of the Aquatech. It's a horrible needle valve. It's not that it will break, but it's that it was really hard to dial in. My BPP, my bubbles per second, and it drives me nuts. And it was leaking too, and I didn't know where it was leaking. And I figured it out. It was the bubble counter that was leaking. I had a cheap bubble counter on it, so I switched it out for my more expensive bubble counter that was on my other tank that's not really active with CO2 right now. So that fixed my problem on that. So that's the other thing I wouldn't skip on. Is probably a bubble counter. The leakage. Caleb, so I set up one of my CO2 drop checkers last week. It was blue for the first day and has stayed green yellow for the rest of the time. Even after the CO2 at night was off, it's still green. That, I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know. Either one, you have too much CO2 in your tank, but you would notice that because your fish wouldn't be doing so well. Or you just, or your mix is not right. Are you using the solution from the package you got? Like I told you before, I mixed my own DH4 water and then used my pH liquids from my master testing kit, and those work fine. It shouldn't be staying green like that. It should be changing. The only reason why I wouldn't change is that you have CO2 in your tank. That means that It could be that you have CO2 tank and you really don't need to worry about it. Okay, as long as your fish is looking fine, you might be okay. You might have a lot of CO2 in your tap water. That's possible. No, well, that's how we're okay. You also asked in the next question is, do I need to put more pH solution in it? You only need 3 drops. Okay, of that much amount of water in that round tube, that little round tube, you should only need 3 drops unless you have a weird CO2 dropper, right? It should be 5 milliliters of water that you're putting in that drop checker, and then 3 drops of the pH solution. So I don't know how big of. I've never seen drop checkers any more CO2 drop checkers any more bigger than the ones I see online right now. But tech changes every day, so I don't know. Looks like an awesome pipe. All right, Mean Mugs Aquatics, have a good time. Good talking to you, buddy. Godzilla doing DSM, and my AC is turning a bit yellow. What can be the cause of that? I'm using Ultra Vitro, and my lighting is a Nicrew 20-inch fixture. It might be your lighting. Do you have a link to it on Amazon? Your Nicrew? Is it one of those cheap Nicrew lights, or do they have a high output version of it? How big is your tank? Also need to know how tall is your tank. Okay. How long has it been since you started dry start method? Okay. I need to know those before I tell you any more. AC could turn yellow because you just started the dry start method. It could be because you bought the AC that was grown inside the water and now you're taking it out of the water and growing outside of the water. It's dieback. It will grow back. But I'm a little worried about your Nicrew lighting and how tall your tank is. Okay, 11 watts, 7,000 K is not going to, Kelvin's not going to tell me anything. Okay. I don't know if Nicrew has a high output version of their lighting, so that's why I'm asking. I know Beamwork does. Also, I have to be careful with Beamwork. Nicrew, I don't know. As far as I see, Nicrew are all low-lighted lights. And depending on how high your tank is, that's not going to work. Not for HC. The Funny Grandma Show. Hi, Funny Grandma Show. Hopefully that shout out will work. Victor, thank you. Life with Fish. Hey, Clara, how you doing? Good to see you. Are you awake? What time is it in Ireland? Damien, thank you. You're welcome. Below the Surface, how you doing? Oh, wait. You already been here. You're just saying hi to Life with Fish. You gotta put the words together. That way I'll know it's a name. Lemon still, I haven't had the privilege to own one. Little golf balls. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but it sounds interesting. Is it worth using CO2? Loaded question. Is it worth it to you to use CO2? Why do you want to use CO2? All right, is your tank currently doing fine? Okay, and are you happy with it? Yeah, I'm going to do a very... Okay, this is the one thing I was thinking about yesterday. After the video this Sunday. I think my Tuesday video is going to be the very beginner's guide. The very, very beginner's guide to planet tanks. Because this is the thing. This is like questions like Damien I'm getting a lot of. And I went and looked at back to my planet tank, beginner planet tank. That was good to get into people that already know what they want to do with their planet tanks. Questions like, is it worth it to use CO2? I think this video I'm going to be making has to cover that thing. That stuff. These questions I get asked. What should I do with my 10-gallon tank? I don't know. What do you want to do with your 10-gallon tank? What kind of line do I have a 10-gallon tank? I don't know. It depends on what you want to grow with your 10-gallon tank. What are you trying to achieve with your 10-gallon tank? I think we have to go very basic on those questions. So, Damien, is it worth using CO2? I don't know. What are you trying to do with your tank? That's what I want to know. Where is it currently at, and are you happy with it? Is the plants growing fine? If the plants are doing good and your tank's where you want it, no. Okay, if it's been working, leave it alone. You don't need to add CO2 then. You got a good balance in your tank. You don't need to add something extra if it's already there. Now, if you want to say, I want to make my plants go faster, then sure. You could use CO2 to help that, but first we got to look at the first thing is lighting. Do you have enough lights to push your plants to get enough energy to use all that CO2 you're going to put in your tank? Okay. But having extra CO2 in your tank is good. I mean, not the fact that it might kill your fish if you put too much into it. But if you supplement the CO2, like adding a little bit more than usual, can help. And I have a video on that. If it's a small tank, use that 20G system, that Fluval 20G system that I'm talking about. It's passively diffusing the CO2 in your tank. So really, you're just giving enough CO2 for what's needed in that tank, just for the plants to grow and survive. Use the solution I bought with the pH solution. No, I don't think you could do that. If the solution you bought with pH solution, what do you mean by that? Okay, let me just go through there. You guys are talking to each other. Who is this guy? Sorry. There, I use 5 milliliters of the 4K water solution and 3 drops of pH. That should work. Unless you mix the 4K water solution wrong. You could also just try using the tank water and just see how well that does. Hey, my Colin, taking off. Okay, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Still trying to figure out the edit. Maybe it's just put it up without editing and see how it goes. There's a Night Crew Deluxe now. I have to look at it. All these places that make these cheap lights are now actually making. They're also understanding that they need to make better lights that would grow more demanding plants. So I think that's where they're going because I know Brightwell's doing it. And sounds like Night Crew's doing it too. So I have to check that out. It'll be very interesting. So assuming they're using the right bulbs or the right LEDs for it. You like your Night Crew light? I have to look into it. I've always been just sticking to my Phoenix and Fluval lights. I mean, I did buy, what's it? Not Brightwell. Is it Brightwell? Whatever. I brought a Beamwork. Sorry. I keep saying Brightwell. I don't know why. It's Beamwork. I did buy a Beamwork light. It did fine. It just grew my low light plants tank. And it grew the plants. Hey, Live with Fish. Hi, Clara. 8 p.m. there now. Okay. So not late at all. This is why I'm thinking that I should be doing my live streams on Saturday at like 10 or 11 p.m. I think 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Sorry. And that's why I'm not sure about doing it at night. Because if I do it at night or in the evenings, then all my people across the seas will be asleep. I actually have a decent following across the seas. So. Let's see what we got here. What's up, Gar? Good to see you. I saw you over at Aquarium Cops live chat last night. That was pretty cool. It's been about 2.5 weeks. I'd wait a few more weeks. It should grow back in. But again, I don't know. You said night crew. If you can, let me know the model of the night crew. I'll look it up. I'll let you know. Godzilla. So I'll let you know, and then I'll message you on YouTube. I mean, if you have Facebook, go join the Facebook group there. For the Waterbox Facebook group, you can always ask questions there. It'd be easier to chat there. Decided to do your live. Yeah, I know. I saw Clara, but I can't. I'm at work. I can't attend. I wish I could. But that's good that you're doing your live chats every Thursday. Keep it a good, consistent schedule. I want to see more of those videos from you. I think you'll do awesome if you keep it up. We'll help you improve. Just let me know if you have questions. We gotta fix your channel page, hun. Damien, I'm happy with a 10-gallon tank. I'm thinking of starting a 20-gallon Amazon storage, Java Moss, Anubias, Java Fern, and maybe Dwarf Lily. Okay. What was your question? Oh, was the lighting question? Oh my gosh. Go back. It's easy to find you because you're purple. Is it worth using CO2? Okay, you don't have to. Not with those plants. Assuming you have decent lighting, just start with that. Wait, what kind of substrate are you using is the question. Let me know what kind of substrate you're using. If you're using EcoComplete or anything like that, like Stratum or whatever, go ahead and dose. I suggest go ahead and set it up. Use lighting whatever you have, and dose your tank. Dose your water column if you're using EcoComplete or anything that's gray, clay based. If you're using 88 Aquasoil or soil itself, you don't need to dose your tank at first. Okay? And just start from there. And don't worry about CO2 right now. If you want, I would suggest in the, 20 gallon, is to get that Fluvo 20G. And just, I mean, you have to work at putting CO2 in it every day. Because you have to turn on the valve motor. Watch that video. You'll see what I mean if you haven't watched it already. But that is a good solution. It's a cheap solution too. Okay, so that way you don't have to waste all that money on C2 that we might not need to. Okay, if you don't mind it growing slow, you're fine. Man, you guys keep talking about shrimp. I want to get a shrimp tank now. Dang it. I want to do up a shrimp tank. Waterbox, you should check out the Aqua Neat 24/7 RGB lights. They're super bright and grow plants like crazy. Okay, I'll check it out. I want to see their specs though. I need to know what kind of light, what kind of red bulbs they got, red LEDs on it. I have an Aqua Neat 24/7 on my 5-gallon shrimp tank, so cheap for 27.4. Tampa, okay, you say you're going for the 10-11 a.m. vote on Saturday streams. I might do 10 a.m. only because I go and watch Nick Niman's live stream. And honestly, I don't mind doing chats on Saturdays more than Fridays because it helps, gives me ramped up before I shoot videos, because I shoot videos on the weekends for you guys. And when I'm talking to you guys, like right before I do a video, it gives me a lot more ideas that I can put in that video of whatever topic I'm talking about. Like the balance of the tank thing, and also the very, very beginner's guide to planet tanks. It's good. And I love the question you guys are asking. I like the question you guys ask from different levels of people that's just going in the hobby or that's currently in the hobby too. I just have LED shop lights from Walmart, and most of my tanks turn into jungles without me wanting them to, although I don't have any highlight demanding plants. Oh, that's cool. Shop lights should work. The only thing I'm worried about when I do that, the shop lights, is that they're not getting the reds and some of the blues that they might need on some of the plants that need that, require that. I mean, some plants like the low-lighted plants, the hardy plants could go without that stuff. The night crew is blinding bright on my old eyes. Gotcha. Night crew deluxe LED aquarium light. Full spectrum fish tank life plant tanks. I'll look it up. Well, look it up, but why don't you guys look it up with me? Let's see here. This one here? Do you guys buy it from Amazon or do you buy it from somewhere else? Yeah, I think this is their low light one, right? Yeah, I don't see it on Amazon, so it might not be on Amazon. Oh no, it's right here. Huh. You gotta be kidding. $30 for a 24-inch? Curiosity is perked, guys. Has this burned out on any of you guys yet? That are using it currently? Oh, I like it. It looks nice. I like the design. Not too hip on that though. The plastics. I can see it breaking now in my gorilla hands. Ugh. I manhandle my stuff. Sorry about this while I go through this, but you guys are seeing what I'm looking at on the screen, so maybe that'll help you guys not get bored. But I'm trying to find specs on this. Marketing copy, blah, blah, blah. Marketing copy, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to have to buy this and test it out and do a video on it for you guys. See, it makes me nervous when they won't post their specs, like detailed specs. See, now they have the 72 LEDs, 66 white, that's fine, 6 blues. But where's the reds? There are no reds on this. So the red spectrum they're getting from the white lights. I wonder how well they'll do on the red plants. They're water resistance, not waterproof. Okay. Well, you guys know what this means. It says full spectrum. The only way is to test it. I'm gonna have to get one and find out. Thank you guys for letting me know on that one. I'll go ahead and purchase one and just check it out. I wanted to get a beams work as well of their high output too and just test it. But for you guys that are using this, that are using, growing, like less high demand light plants, I think this will work great. I'll just have to check it out and see if it works. I just don't know how well it'll do with the rare plants that I deal with sometimes. But that will be very interesting. Thanks, guys. Okay. Going back to that. Class, I'm getting back into salt water like today. I jump into salt water now. Yes, you need good channel art. Send me an awesome, pretty picture of you, and let me do something with channel art. I don't know if you're on Facebook, Clara. Are you on Facebook? Yeah, let me know. Just send me a nice picture of you so I get a full picture of you that you like, don't mind using for your channel art. I'll go ahead and whip it up for you. We'll probably use organic potting soil with sand cap, Damien. Yeah, perfect. Okay, yeah, just let it go. Don't get CO2 off the bat. Go ahead and set it up and see how well it'll do. I would suggest, well, if you're using organic soil, you don't have to add fertilizers right away. So set up your tank, plant everything, let it go in the cycle, which is good. You put your soil in it, it's probably going to give you ammonia spike for your cycle. Let it go for a few weeks, see how it works out, and then adjust from there. But with the plants you have and with your setup, you should be okay. Again, not yeah, that's right. I'm not sure. Did you list out the light you're using? That's why the night crew. Okay, cool. I don't have a shrimp tank. No, I don't. I have not actually had an interest in doing shrimp tanks yet. Until recently, until I started watching Flip It Fun, until everyone like you guys are surprised I don't have a shrimp tank. I have shrimp in a tank. I have a mono shrimps in a tank, but it's not really a shrimp tank. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a tank built specifically for shrimp. But I think I might do that. Only because I've been looking at the shrimps on Flip's Aquatics site. I want to support him. Other than ordering cherry and mono shrimps, I want to try some of his nicer shrimps. So I want to do a shrimp dump just for that and try to figure out what kind of aquascape I do with it. Right? But I'm running it in my mind. Seeing how I would do it. What kind of aquascape would look really cool shrimp. Oh, bye Clara. See you tomorrow. I don't know if she got what I was saying to her about her channel art. I use the Aquaneat full spectrum so far. I like them. We'll see how they do in the long run. Okay. I'll have to check that out too. So I have several rare plants I'm hoping to grow. And once my tanks are full of them, sell. I have mini Riccardi Carbonacefolia and Crypt Wendetti Pink Panther. Oh, we got the Pink Panthers. Nice. Do that. That'd be awesome, dude. Do for them? Yeah. Go the whole highlight CO2 FERT route. If you want to go fast, do that. Watch the build on my Dutch style tank. That was a highlight. Well, there could be higher lighting, but because of the tank that I had, the 20-gallon long, didn't need that powerful highlight. I mean, that Planet Plus Phoenix works great for that tank. I had to raise that light for that tank. So watch that. See how I progress with it, because that thing grew fast. It wasn't 12 weeks. 12 weeks. So we are talking about almost 3 months, and you had that huge forest of bright reds and greens growing. You can see how I did it. And that's how, that's pretty quick, that speed. And you gotta remember though, if I just let it grow, it would have been, huge already. But I remember I kept trimming it because it was Dutch style tank. I wanted to grow bushy, so. Watch yesterday's live stream on the way home. You're streaming again. Yeah, I am streaming again. Just to chit chat, talk. I figured you guys give me the boost to give me that energy to do the videos that I need to film today for you guys. Yeah, I wish I had part meter too. I think I'll I'm gonna have to invest in one because I want to start doing more reviews on lighting for you guys. So here's the thing: is that a lot of people, it works great, but then I look at the tank and they're growing hardy, low light, or plants that can grow in low light. That the plants I suggested you can grow in low lights or medium lighting plants, but I don't see much of the really rare reds, hard, keep alive plants growing in those type of light, using those type of lights. So people that grow those type of plants are using T5HOs, or they're using those are really expensive LEDs. So again, it goes back to what are you doing with your tank, So because I got a couple questions from people. They're like, oh, hey, let me know if this is good. I'm planning to get this. I'm planning to get that. I'm like, wow, what are you doing? You doing up a really nice Dutch aquascape, or are you doing a Iwagumi tank where there's tons of carpet? I mean, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm just growing Amazons. Swords, Java ferns, Anubias, and I couldn't figure out. I'm like, well, why? What do you do? Are you trying to, make them grow fast? I go, no, I just want them to grow nice. I'm like, but you don't need all that. All right, you're going overboard for the plants you're trying to grow. You don't need to go, first of all, waste all that money on all this high-tech stuff when you don't need to. And then, well, what should I do? I go, well, try this, try that. And I link them all that stuff. And they're like, yeah, but that's kind of cheap. I'm like, you don't need to go that expensive. All right, you don't need to get all these great brand name stuff. It's all marketing, hubu jubu. There are some cases where, yeah, you do want to go with some branded stuff, maybe because I know it works, but you don't always have to, especially it depends on what you are doing to your tank. Yeah, you guys are all hyped on that. I gotta check it out now. Yeah, research, man. I'm telling you guys. A lot of that, especially for me, when I'm doing these videos for you guys, is research. It's trying to get as much right information before I put it out there. Is a thing. Because, see, all the stuff I'm learning is from experience, right? So then I have to kind of translate that in a way that I have to tell people how I did it. But I don't sit there and talk to myself every day and then have a conversation about what I'm doing, right? I just do it. It becomes, after a while, it becomes natural. It's just part of, oh, I already know how to do it. It's part of it. I've learned all that stuff. But when you're trying to tell someone to do it, it's different. And then sometimes it doesn't always translate correctly. Because if I tell you one thing, you could be thinking of another. That's the other thing. I get a lot, especially when people watch my videos and they go, well, you said this in your tank or in your video. I go, yeah, I said that. What are you thinking about? And they're like, oh, I thought you meant this. I go, I didn't mean that. I said it exactly how I said it. So they're like, don't put bleach in your aquarium. Oh, I thought you meant don't put some bleach in your aquarium. What? Stuff like that, right? I mean, it happens. But that's just the nature of us being human beings. 120 gallons have been hard to do lighting on the cheap. Yeah, trust me, 120 gallons that I don't know. It costs a lot. You're powering 120 gallons of water there, and 120 gallons is a really tall tank. Mine's 24 inches. So I'm sitting here like, okay, there's no way I am going to do a really high demanding planted tank on this discus tank that I want to. I'll just stick with swords. I'll stick with the low light stuff. I'm good with that. I have other tanks that I'm doing all this other crazy stuff with. I don't need to get all of that with the 120 gallon. Waterbox get an Aquaneat RGB 24/7 LED 2. They have the highest lumens per inch any LEDs I see. Okay, I'll check that one out too and test it. Aquaneat RGB. I'll make a list of this. All the lights you guys are just suggesting. Now I got to get you guys to do more super chats or something so I can afford this stuff. I'm not made of money, Who said the Aquanet gets really hot Alberets or Bobstein. The aquaneats get really hot. Probably they all do. But I think I'm not sure. I have to look at the aquaneat setup if it has a regulator or a box on it in the line. It should help with that. I think it's a converter, whatever you guys call it. You're a beast, sir. Lumpy Dog has just finished editing his video. He's uploading it. So go watch his video, guys. Well, should I use a 20-gallon tank with plants I listed? Get one of those night crews. That's cheap. I saw it cheap. Those should work with the plants that you listed with the 20-gallon tank, either long or tall. So it looks like. Okay, it looks like. I have no experience with them, but these guys are saying it's good. The guys in chat. And from what they say and from the people that are saying it, try it. It's cheap. I think you can't go wrong with it. I have hundreds shrimp. You can have some of mine. What kind of shrimp do you have, SO? Damien, check out the Facebook group U.S. Freshwater Plants and Shrimp if you're interested in shrimp. I'll check it out, but usually I just stick with Flip Aquatics. You know, if I have a question, I'll just email Rob or something. But yeah, he's my go-to shrimp guy. I will only listen to him. Well, not really. I mean, I'll still look good and research around, but he's my go-to guy. 30 to 36 inches, the biggest on the Night Crew Deluxe. Oh, they don't go any higher than that? I worry about aquaneat wiring. That's why I haven't gotten one. Okay. See people post picture of burnt plugs, and I'm a bit suspicious of the lights. They do not have the US rating on their wiring. Ugh. That's not good. Alright, now that scares me. Highlight CO2 for Java Ferns and Nubius. Yeah, right? You don't need to do that. If that's all you're going to have in your tank, you go a little lower. Size down a little. King Prano, how you doing, buddy? Hi, Chung. I set up a DIY CO2 on my 60-liter tank the other day, and I was working really well for the first few days, 1 bubble per second. But I got home one day, and the bubble counter had gone up without touching it. Any advice? What do you mean gone up? As in, you mean more bubbles per second? Yeah, you should have a needle valve. What are you using? How do you have your do-it-yourself CO2 set up? Do you have a needle valve on it? Just a needle valve. If you don't have a needle valve on it, put a needle valve on it. All right, or put one of those blue things that you shut off that you can kind of adjust the flow. Put one of those on it so you can adjust the bubbles per second. Yeah, because see, all lights do get hot. I'm just worried about the part where it gets too hot, where parts where, you know, your hair goes on fire, like Michael Jackson. You know? I'm just worried about that part. I know lights get hot. But if it's burning plugs, that's not good. Burning plugs also means shorting out everything else in your house, too. Well, I'm not an electrician, but I'm just assuming. Because that happened to me before. Let me down. Lots of low-tech plants look good. Many high-tech plants look even better, though. Go with what you have time, passion, and money to keep. Great advice, Lumpy Dog. I think I will use that. Lots of low-tech, yeah. It's true. Again, it goes back to what do you want to do, tank? What do you want to grow? What kind of plant tank do you want to get out of this? I think a lot of people get the misconception of a lot of things that they see that a lot of the people do. A lot of people that do really nice looking plants, tanks, and they go, oh, well, he did this, so that must mean that I must do this for other different type of tanks too. It doesn't work that way. All these were 3 buys as much as 7 years ago. 3 times as much as, yeah. I remember when I got out of the hobby, it was still compact fluorescence was the in thing. You know, metal highlights was starting to go out of the hobby. Um, T5 high outputs were still in, but then when I came and the LEDs, were talking about it, and everyone's laughing. I mean, you know, back then LEDs was like, buy a moonlight LED so you can make little mood lightings while you're having sex or something like that, right? That was all it was for back then. But now I came back in the hobby. I'm like, whoa, look at all these LEDs, you know, that everyone's turning to now. So I started jumping into that and learned all that stuff. Hey, Don Master Yeet, how you doing? There's your shout out, buddy. Hope you're doing good. Cherry, I liked a blue shrimp working on. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye. Will 65K strip lights mixed with strip grow RB lights work for use with hydroponic? I don't know. Okay, see, here's the problem with the RB lights. Strip grow lights. The grow lights are, yeah. I don't see why you couldn't do that. And it should work. Now, if all you're doing is using a strip grow light, then everything's gonna look red, right? It's gonna look like you're growing pot in your house. So what you do is just throw in the strip light and mix it up, and you should be fine. All right, as long as they're still getting that red spectrum, because the white lights, the stuff that they can't use, we use, right? That's what we talk about. 60. When you see that number, 60, 65K, 6500K, 700K, or 7000K, whatever. When you see all of those Kelvin ratings, they're really for us. Right? Do you like the warmer look? Do you like the cooler look? Right? Some people are running lights for a Dutch style tank, incredible looking tank, at 3000K. Okay, I don't know how do you say it. It's 3000K or 3K, 3000 kelvins. So that means it's really red. But they're doing it because they're setting the mood for the tank, how they want to look in the tank. Because that Kelvin rating is really more for us. More for us. Has a little to do with for the plants too, a little bit. But what's more important is actually the radiation value of it. Okay, where is it sitting in the spectrum of the spectrum? All right, which is it? Nano, the NS I think it's called. But there's a certain spectrum where the red has to be where the lights could use it. It's a certain spectrum where the blue has to be where the blue uses it. And the greens, they kind of balance it out. They don't use too much of the green spectrum of stuff. But I will explain it in the lighting video. That's why we have those weird looking cool spectrum charts on the light. The little up and down and stuff. And you have to look at that to figure out, oh, well, this light should work with my plants. Kind of thing. So if you have the strip grow lights RBs, just go ahead and mix some white lights with it. You'll be okay. Oh, you have a Neovolve? Then use the Neovolve to adjust the flow. The problem with do-it-yourself CO2 is that pressure is going to keep fluctuating. So you probably most likely have to keep adjusting it. And it happens to me when I use the do-it-yourself CO2, but I don't worry about it. Mainly because as long as I know it's around 1 bubbles per second, it shouldn't be enough to it. Even if you keep pumping all that into your tank. The do-yourself CO2 has a rare chance of gassing your fish. At run 1 bubbles per second, you're not putting that much in your tank. If it fluctuates back and forth within that level of the 1 bubbles per second, you should be fine. I just let it go. I don't care. I never killed any fish doing it this way. Put in 1 bubble per second, mix it up, put in 1 bubble per second, and I walk away and ignore it until I need to mix a new batch. Same set. Oh, you even put a solenoid on. Yeah, I let it go. I mean, for me, I just let it go and just let it do its thing. Set it 1 bubble per second and just let it do its thing. That would not be enough to kill your fish. Even if it fluctuates just a little to 2 bubbles per second, 3 bubbles per second, or go on to less than 1 bubbles per second. You should be okay. Yeah, there is nothing like metal highlights. You are right. But, like you said, the money to run them is ridiculous. And the bulbs burn out really, really fast. My tanks are doing fine. I only have really 1 active tank around. The other tanks are active. They're just kind of sitting there and just turn on the lights. Whatever plants are in there is just growing and doing its thing. And I top them off. I don't even do water changes. I don't have fish in those tanks, right? The only active tank right now is that 20-gallon long soil tank, which you guys see behind me when I do the what is it? The aqua chats videos. You see it going on. And it's doing fine. Started pumping CO2 in it, fixed that problem. I couldn't figure out what the problem was. It was the stupid bubble counter. And that Planet Plus 24 is doing good. And you know how I was making fun of, setting all that up for just Java ferns and wisteria and all that, all the low light plants. That's what I'm doing with that tank down there. And see, that's the thing. I didn't need to do that. I wanted to do it because I want to push more growth for the baby tiers that's growing in that tank. Not only one plant really is going to be able to use all that. Naturally, the swords, the Nubias, and the Java ferns grow slow anyway, so it can't use all that stuff I'm pumping into that tank. Main reason is to grow the baby tiers that's on that corner over there, and also the Wendetti, the Wendetti in the back. I want to grow that bush back up because it grew crazy when it was in the Dutch style tank when I had that up. So I want to do that again. I want to get a nice bush of Wendettis that I could spread around in my other tanks later on. But yeah, imagine that. You're doing all that stuff just for 2 plants in your tank. Yeah, the other thing about metal highlights that I love is it makes your water shimmer. That's the other thing too. Depending on the light you use too, it also depends on how it makes your tank look. So you have to balance that part out. Using lights is going to give your plants what it needs versus how you want your tank to look afterwards too, because the lighting affects that. When we talk about 6,000 kelvins, 7,500 kelvins or whatever, we're talking about what we're seeing, the color of the temperature of the lights, and that reflects on how the tanks will look at afterwards, right? When you have the light shining in it. We also use that kind of rating for lights based on photography and filming too. A lot of us want to say you want to get daylight lights to shoot indoors, right? To make it look more natural, get more natural light that you can shoot with, depending on whatever you're trying to shoot with your subject, right? So a lot of it has to do with that when we talk about the Kelvin rating. Yeah, I agree with you there, G-Bear. A metal halide setup, like I said, makes your tank shimmer. And LEDs can't do that, which is a shame, but it can't do it. Well, Caleb says, I think that if you're worried about the cord, you can easily upgrade the power supply transformer to one that rated better. Okay, but here's the thing. If I'm buying a cheap lighting, if I'm buying that lighting because of the cost, why would I want to do all that? Right? If I need to change the power supply or transformer, I have to spend time doing that. I have to flux with it. By that time, the cost of me spending my time doing that is just going to cost as much if I went out and bought a branded light. You know what I'm saying? So, if I have to do all that for a cheap light, then I'm just going to spend the money on Phoenix or Fluval. And it's true, Lumpy Dog, plant tanks are kind of funny if you think about it. We basically set up a perfect scenario for nuisance algae to grow and then try to get the plants to outcompete it, both frustrating and rewarding. It's true. And that's why we talk about balancing the tank so that the plants do outcompete the algae. But yeah, it's very funny. It's kind of what you would call it? Anti-productive. What kind of red spectrum is good? It's not the red spectrum is good. It's the I'm gonna have to cover that because it's technical, and I don't have. Wait, the research pulled up. I don't know. I have to actually go and look at it. Hold on. Did I save it? And when I talk about spectrum, guys, I'm talking about this. Okay, that has a lot to do with it. Okay, that's bad. Here we go. So you see this peak right here? That is where you want. That's what you're looking at. The wavelength of NMs, nanometers. I believe it's nanometers. So that's that peak there. That's where it's saying that this light is where the red spectrum is going to hit for the plants to use. And that peak right there. So you want to see that peak on when you're looking at the spectrum light. You're going to see peak here, and then on this side you're going to see a peak of blues. Green doesn't matter as much, but you want the peak of blues and peak of greens. Now for red, the light uses I don't know the range, and I can't find the range. I think it's 300 nms wavelength, between 300 and 720. So you want the peak to happen in between this area right here. Okay, that's a little sneak peek on the lighting video there. Oh, sorry on that one. That's some of my research on. Yes, that was my researching. I was researching the ADA system, all the stuff that you need for the macronutrients and micronutrients. My measurements from my tap water, and see all this stuff. It's a pain in the butt. So much research to do. These are some of my notes, and then I keep moving my notes around too. It doesn't help. That's my research on Malawi cichlids. Decided not to go with that. So escapes. I'm not sure where I put my other notes. Yeah, I don't know where my other notes are, guys. So, but yeah, that's it's a little sneak peek to understand that that's where you want to see where those spectrum falls on light for your plants. Like I said, the other side was the blue. The blue spectrum. It doesn't use as much of the blue spectrums. That only matters mostly for corals. Okay. So unless you're doing corals, you don't have to pay too much attention to. You still want to pay attention to it, but not that much. Okay. But it goes in the way of they want more red. You could use better. They use much better with reds, blues, and greens. Okay, greens they use less of in the spectrum for their photosynthesis process. Hope I'm explaining that right. But there you go. Yeah, we'll check out. I'll check out the night crew lighting spectrums. Do those T5 high output lighting are awesome. It is literally power lighting. I wish it was a little cheaper, but well, you could go to Home Depot and get high output T5 high output fixtures for growing plants. I've seen them at my on my Home Depot. The only problem is I have to set it all up, so I haven't had time to get into it. Yeah, the pressure's gone up. Got home, found all the fish surface gaps. Oh, that's not good. Um, that's not good. I mean, pressure's building up really quick on your mix. Are you using 2 liter bottles? Right, you're using the bottles that are suggested to go with it. So I need 2 to 4 more bubble counters. What kind do you recommend? One that attaches to a regular needle valve or inline counter? I always like the ones that attaches to the regulator, but this is a preference more than anything, I think, for anyone. I like the ones that attach to needle valves because I can adjust it right there, and it's good placement for. I don't like the inlines because then I have to figure out where to put it and stuff, and I don't like it hanging like that. So my preference is always the ones that connect to the needle valve. That's my preference. Either way works. Just get something that's good that's not going to break on you. So it'll be your preference, buddy. For the ones that hook on your needle valve, I have to find the one I bought. Don't buy the cheap ones on eBay. There's one on eBay that's actually a little more well made. I think it's either on eBay or Amazon. I don't have to look it up for you. I'll get you the link. Yeah, lighting is it's very technical. So hopefully I could break down all the technicals for you guys on the lighting series when I do it. Yeah, the night crew does look better and better, so I'm gonna go and pick up one. Try to figure out how to afford it first, or pay for it. I'll probably have to wait until next month when the YouTube money comes in or whatever. Is that why LED lights for land-based plants are primarily red with some blues? Yeah, because wouldn't look good on aquarium, but mainly grow plants like you thought. Yeah, pretty much. When we make plant tanks, it's not just about growing the plants, but we're doing it because it looks good. It looks nice, and we're building beauty, right? A nice little art piece, especially when you aquascape and stuff. Okay, so we have to, like I said earlier, we have to balance between giving the plants what it needs to grow, as well as making it look aesthetically pleasing for us. Now, if you're just going to go plants, aka certain plants, any plants, but certain plants, a lot of people do this, so they're not going to look at it every day. They just want to grow plants for a certain purpose. Eat it, smoke it, whatever, right? So if they're already growing the plants, they put it into a place that no one ever going to see. You're going to go in there just to maintain it once in a while. But no one's going to see it, so why bother giving it something it doesn't need? All right, so that's why when you go and look at something like that, a setup like that, it's all red, right? It's red, purplish, It's because there's no white lighting or any of the green, really high green spectrum in that light setup, okay? Because the plants just don't use it. So why bother with that? Just go ahead and give them exactly what they need and give them a lot of it, okay? And that way, all the resources of the setup is pushed into that, so you don't have to pay for the other stuff that you don't need. Does that make any sense? All the energy is pushed into making that light setup just shine the red that it needs. So you don't have to spend money on the other parts. The Zoom Eds T5s, nice. And honestly, Lumpy Dog and anyone else, you could set up your lighting or your aquarium with red grow lights. Seriously, I was looking at grow lights the other day. They actually came out with LED ones on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I mean, you get a nice, really high intense one for about $120, like that big or something. Put it over your tank. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look all rad, but your plant's gonna love it. Then I was thinking about how I can mix it up with another like a white LED light, right? The problem is because it's not mixed in inside, you're going to get this weird, it's going to be very red on this part of the tank, and then it's going to be kind of mixed in on the rest of the tank kind of thing, because the LEDs aren't mixed in. Okay. So, I don't know. I'm still playing with the idea. Try it out. Do I have minimal oil in my bubble cup? No. I don't bother with that. I just go and just put tank water in it even. But now I just put water in it. Now you're gonna why mineral oil? I'm curious. Is it just to make it so it doesn't dissolve or evaporate much? Hey, Pond and More, nice to see you here. I've been using Aquarium Neat LEDs on my tank for 2 years now with no problems, and they're inexpensive. Oh, that's awesome. Again, I gotta look at the Aqua Neats and I gotta look in the what's it called? The new night cruise. Hey, Alice Aquarium, nice to see you here. What's up? Glad you like the stream. Thank you very much. Alright, glad that helped you out, Lumpy Dog. What's up, Cats Cool 123? How you doing? We are talking about aquarium stuff, basically. We also talk about anything, but aquarium stuff mainly. You know what? I did not see up toward the front, or you guys have not answered it. Who's seen Infinity Wars? I don't know if any of you guys got tickets ahead of time, because I know it's hard to get tickets here in LA right now. I'm hitting it on Tuesday night. But I don't know who else here are Marvel fans. I should have seen that. Yeah. Sorry, Cat School. I don't know. If you're not into aquariums, it's not the chat for you, buddy. But thank you for joining us anyways, man. Because cats are cool or cats are cool. I mean, I love your name already because I love cats. And I'm sure my kitty appreciates it wherever she is. She's probably getting into stuff she's not supposed to be getting into. Any experience with breeding peacock gudgeons? No, I'm not a breeder. I'm not really interested in breeding either, so it's not kind of my forte. So I don't know much about it. Does anyone else have? So go ahead and talk to them. I have 5 Aqua Neat LEDs. 3 of them are 24/7 RGBs. I haven't any problem. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look it up right now. Let's look it up, guys. What is up with this? It's 24/7. Hey, Danny, thanks for the super chat there, buddy. Danny, you're not live streaming today, are you? You don't live stream on Saturday. You live stream on Sundays, right? Wait, did you say Night Crew or Aquanet? Why does it copy my Aquanet? Yeah, Aquanet 24/7s, right? The highlight, is this the one you're talking about? Only thing I would think that you would use mineral for is that mineral oil for that is evaporation, because I have to refill my bubble counter a lot. RGB, okay. Cruise 108 LEDs, 72, 10K. White lights, 36 RGB LEDs. Marketing copy, marketing copy, marketing copy. Whoa, there's a video go there. This is $44 at a 30, 60, 48 inch. It looks like they go longer on these than they do on the Night Cruise. Huh. Check it out. I don't know if I need the 24/7 thing. I don't need all that fancy schmancy stuff. I just need to grow plants. I really don't care about making it sun up, sun down, blah, 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 blah. so obnoxious. Oh, they got par readings on this stuff. This is for the Phoenix 24/7. Par 33 at how many inches? 22 inches depth, par 33. Is that empty tank or water tank? Let's see here. All right, so here we go with the Aquaneat par readings 25 at 21-inch depth. I'm assuming without water, so it's going to be less with water. Lux at 937. There's the average. It's not too bad compared to the Phoenix 24/7. These are the peaks I'm talking about that you want to look at. This is the peak that you want to see when you're looking at the spectrum charts on these lights. You want high here, you want a high here. Red is higher is usually better though, but most of the time you will see this. You will see the red on this side, you'll see the blue on this side, or switch around. Depends on where the you gotta look at where this is going right here. See where the scale is going. Okay, it's going 700 up here. Yeah, see? All right, so that's good. Same here. Pouring over at the thing. Ah, that's very interesting. What's the black line? Is that Lux? I don't know why he did this chart. It's hard to read. Yeah, I gotta say that the Aquaneat will work just fine for those plants, for the lower mid-light plants. I wouldn't mind trying that too. Alright, so that's on my list. Alright, so I'm gonna try the Night Cruise and try the Aquaneats and see if I can make them blow up. What kind of fish do I have? I have rummy nose. Well, on my current planet tank, rummy nose, Cory cats, SAEs. This is it. Basically, I have zebra Daniels on one other tank, and glow tip tetras, and a mono shrimps on the other. JH Aquatics, how you doing, Joseph? Yeah, I know I have other work to do too, but I'm procrastinating. I'm just sitting here talking to people. Nice. So Danny, you just do your streams like whenever? You don't have a set time for them? Oh no, I'm sorry that your fish died. I'm sorry about that. Flop? That's a cute name for a fish. Billy, CLL Pet Supplies on eBay is where I get my lights. They average about $10 a foot. Is this LED lighting? Is it LED lighting strips? I'll check it out. CLL Pet Supplies. Okay. Oh, okay, so you only use the plat mode and use it on timer. Okay. I wonder if they could strip out all those extra features and make it cheaper for us. For those that just wanted to use it on plat mode and put it on the timer. You know what I mean? I tend to blow things up, SO. I'm one of those guys. You ever seen Home Improvement? I don't know if you guys are. Probably a lot of you guys are the same age as me or close to it. The show Home Improvement, and he's always fiddling with stuff and he blows things up. I'm like him. I tend to go, well, this is not enough power. Let's make enough power. You know what I'm saying? Well, I had, but last week was awful. I found a body while hiking. Oh, are you serious? That's horrible, dude. That's messed up. You found a body while hiking? Ah. I use a Phoenix 24/7. Yeah, I like Phoenix. Phoenix is my favorite. I heard the 24/7s though aren't that great though. I only buy the Planet Plus. I don't do the 24/7 stuff. Because again, like I said, I don't need it. I don't like all that fancy stuff. So I don't know why people said they had problem with 24/7. I'm like, well, what problem do you have? Okay. The complaint wasn't it didn't work. The balls blew out. Um it got hot and it caused a fire. It was none of those complaints. You know what the complaint was? It caused algae. They're blaming the hate on light because it caused them algae. I didn't really have much to say after that. I just walked away. Or I just closed my chat window. Yeah, that is some Stand By Me thing, Joseph. That's crazy. Well, you're working on your upgrade for your saltwater. What are you upgrading on your saltwater? Oh my god, that's crazy. Do you ever find out what happened to him, Danny? I mean, was it a suicide? Was it an accident or something? Or what? That's just nuts. That is crazy, dude. Damn. Ugh, damn. Okay. Anyways. So any other questions you guys have? Or any updates about your tanks? But man, hey, I was watching trailers for Infinity War. I was like, oh man, you know what? I want to create a group like a YouTube. I gotta find some channels that would fit, create like kind of a Avengers group type of thing, and just do collabs with them for a while, just for life of it, and then we could do stuff together and just kind of play it all off like we're like Avengers or something. That'd be kind of cool. Joseph JH Aquatics. I think he'd be good as part of the. We'll call it the coalition. There you go. We'll pick like 8 or 9 people can join this group, and we do this fun like themed videos together or something. From a 10 to a 20 a filter bill. Oh, nice. 10 to 20 gallon, you mean? Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy, Danny, dude. That's really nuts, man. Hey, Sustainable Texan. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in, saying hi. Yeah, that's nasty. Oh, dude, man, just get that stuff out of you. I know, but find someone you talk to about this stuff, bro. You know? I mean, you're talking to us right now about it, so go for it, bro. Floor is yours. If you need to get off your chest. That's just some crazy stuff. See, Joseph, I think the only reason why I want to create this coalition thing is so I can do a really cool trailer for us. I think that's the only main reason I want to do it. I want to do that Marvel trailer you see when it flashes all the characters in the front and you go through them. But that's a horrible thing just to start something with, you know? Hey, I want to start a group, guys, so I can make a trailer out of it. And afterwards, then you guys can all go away. Oh, that sounds like fun. That's pretty cool. You upgrade your saltwater to a 20-gallon long and adding a do-it-yourself algae scraper and skimmer. A 20-gallon long, that is interesting. Is it a reef tank or is it just a regular saltwater tank? Oh, that's good, Danny. Yeah, make sure don't keep that stuff in, bro. No? You need to talk about it, just go to those people, man. Are you serious, Sustainable Texan? They sent you the wrong. What did they send you? Just is it dwarf crayfish they sent you, or they sent you a different type of crayfish? That's messed up, man. That's true. Esso's right. At least you helped his family in some way, and they know now, right? Oh, okay. You're keeping hermit crabs. Okay. It's not a reef. All right. I was gonna say. I'm like, how is he doing a reef on 20-gallon long? That'd be nuts. I mean, cool, but it's so shallow. Yeah, I keep watching these stupid reef. Well, not stupid, but these reef channels. And it's just making me want to do up my reef tank like sooner than later. Go to take the wife to dinner. Great stream. Thank you. All right, take care, Lumpy Dog. Thank you for joining us. Have fun with dinner and your wife, sir. Regular cookout craze. And they just ate the whole tank. That's messed up, bro. Make them play. Make them pay for your plants. Tell me you sent me the wrong ones. Now you owe my plants. You owe me plants, bitches. Ah. Anyways. Okay. If you guys got any more questions, go to shoot it off. I'm probably going to close this up. It's already been, wow, 2 hours now, guys. 2 hours and almost 15 minutes. It's so cool hanging out with you guys. I don't even know what peak was. So I think I might be changing my live stream over to Saturday mornings. It seems like you guys, there's a lot more people that would attend if I did that. Hopefully. So you guys, some more people get in on the trivia because that was fun. Everyone loved that. So, yeah. I gave them a saltwater. I need a second job for that hobby. Yeah, that can get quite expensive. It doesn't have to, but they can. I mean, see, that's the thing. A lot of people say, "Well, it could be expensive, but it doesn't have to." I go, "Yeah, but you're not gonna have much fun if it's not if you don't do the expensive part, right?" You know, I mean, that's kind of what I figure. You know, people like, I so you do aquarium, yeah. And he goes, okay. So you just set up a regular aquarium, yeah. I said, how much it cost? This. I go, but you want to do a plant tank, you want to do this. Like, well, that's a lot more. Well, what do you know? You're paying for the plants, but if you want to pay for the really pretty plants and make them grow really pretty, you have the CO2, higher lighting, and all that. And they're like, well, what if I want to do a low tech plant? Well, you can. Not as fun. You know, it'll look nice, you look pretty, but if that's what you want, you can do that. Or you do what I do and make them grow and have fun with it, stuff like that. So I guess it depends on what you think. Because I like to push the plants to grow, you know. I think saltwater fish tanks are boring. I'm not into, like Joey, I'm not into the fish itself. But give me a coral reef to play with. You know? And then the price goes up. So for me, especially, it's just much more fun when you spend money on stuff. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just the way it is for everyone. If you want to have fun, you just gotta spend more money on it. Who knows? What's the difference between a reef tank and a saltwater tank? Corals? I'm still kind of new to the hobby. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much like saying what's the difference between a normal fish tank and a planted tank, like that. When you say saltwater tank or saltwater fish tank, I assume in my mind already that they're just talking about a tank set with just regular sand, rocks, maybe some fake corals, right? And then the whole thing in the display is about the fish. Mostly monster fish, mostly predator type of fish because they can't live with corals usually. So that's the type of thing you're talking about. And then when you say reef tank, you're talking about creating a reef where you're messing with a lot of the corals. And in this case, we're talking about it would be comparable to a planted tank, okay, versus just a regular fish tank. It's basically what we're talking about. That's the difference. You guys, oh yeah, King, you take care. Yeah, a reef tank that's spectacularly set up is so awesome. Do you prefer outdoor aquaculture or indoor better? I'm more into the indoor stuff. Aquaculture outdoors, I think it's fun. I just never got into it. I just don't have the space for it, basically. I wouldn't mind doing a pond in my patio. I'm not thinking about doing one. I just have to see if the HOA allows it. Stupid. In my own patio, see if they allow it. I hate HOAs. Um, and aquaponics is something I'm interested in. I want to see how that works. It'd be fun to get into. So, a freshwater guy yourself, but research study, yeah. That's why I want to so get back up my reef. I had fun with my reef 13 years ago, but I just set it up before I got out of the hobby and didn't do much with it. I grew some mushrooms, and I had like an anemone with the clownfish, like your staple of a reef aquarium. But yeah, good. I'm glad you learned a lot, guys. I'm glad I could help, or it helps. I find outdoor easier to maintain it and live with. I don't know, because the sun is expensive. They charge a lot to use the sun to grow your plants, right? Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, outdoor is easier. I mean, you got the sun already. You got the light, right? You got normally you usually have the soil or whatever. I mean, unless you grow in a pot or whatever. All you have to do is just water it. So that's the cool thing. Okay, guys. I'm gonna shut that down. I gotta finish my research and I gotta do the videos for you guys and stuff like that. But I had fun. Don't forget about next week live chat. It might move to Saturday, so let me see what's going on with that. So, but if not right now, it's still on Friday nights at 6 p.m. But I'm very tempted to just move it to Saturday and see how the new schedule works that way. It is easier for me too. So, yeah. So I love you guys. I hope you guys had a great time. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining me.